Welcome to Album Anatomy. In this episode I will take you through Sepultura's 5th studio album called Chaos AD. This is the Japanese version, released October 22nd, 1993. I will show you some of the distinguishing characteristics regarding this release and what to look out for when looking to add this piece of music to your collection. There are a few interesting findings and inconsistencies that appear with these two discs, which I will show you. Now, let's take a closer look at this release. Throughout this section, should you wish to do so, you can hit pause to take a closer look. This is the obi. To the right of the barcode is the release date of this version. Also, you can see some adhesive squares that appear on the white side of the obi, probably used to secure it to the CD case. It only appears on Disc A's obi. Up next, the booklet itself. Here is an example of a slight color difference between these two booklets. This version came with a sticker or temporary tattoo. The heading reads, "How to apply the sticker." On one side you can see the tribal symbol itself, which will be mirrored when applied, and on the other side the instructions on how to apply it. This is the back insert with the track names and an expanded view of the bottom section. Here are both discs side by side. Because this is the Japanese version, it comes with a Japanese 6-panel fold-out. Disc A's close-up of the front, Disc D's close-up of the front, Disc A's back close-up, Disc D's back close-up. And here are the side-by-sides of the two. Here are some measurements of the sticker and of the booklet. There is a slight variation of the spacing of the staples when comparing the two examples here. Now the relevant matrix, IFPI and SID numbers for this version. IFPI being the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, SID being the Source Identification Code. These were introduced in 1994 to combat piracy. Up first, the side-by-side of these markings on the hubs of these discs. Here is the matrix, which reads APCY-8136-1P, followed by 15V for Disc A and 12V for Disc D. Here is a close-up of the stamped 15 and 12, and here is an even closer look at these stamped numbers. It appears that the stamper for number 1 on both these discs is identical, suggesting same facility of manufacture, even same machine method. The number 1 suggests that this is the first mother plate. A mother is an intermediate metal plate with a positive impression of the original data. Then following is the number 5, which suggests the 5th stamper made from the first mother plate. A number of stampers can be made from a mother. The mold SID code, which is IFPI 4001, only appears on Disc A. It would be interesting to find out why it's missing on Disc D. Here you are looking at the side-by-side of the two hubs. Both discs have a translucent inner hub portion, however they vary slightly. When looking at the white edge of the hub, you can see the printing inconsistency. They are basically exactly the same on both discs, suggesting the same replication or printing press used, thus further reinforcing that these were manufactured in the same facility. I wanted to see if I could gather any information as to where these discs were pressed, and what I found was this. All I could use to track the plant is the mold SID code, which takes us to Japan, more specifically JVC, or Universal Music Japan, in Rinkan, Yokohama, Japan. Victor and JVC were two related brands of the same parent company, where in 2008 they merged into JVC Kenwood Corporation. Not taking up too much time explaining the mergers and subsidiaries, etc., I can only guesstimate that perhaps the V in the matrix of this Japanese version is a code for Victor JVC Universal Music Manufacturing. I could not locate the plant because apparently the land the plant was on was sold off, and finding any trace of it except some pictures online was basically impossible. These images could be the plant this version of Chaos AD was pressed at. Now I will show you the dual case itself and its identifying features. Here is the case open, and here are the key areas where the identifying marks are found. For disc A, on the lid it reads 37-1. On the underside of the white tray it reads D06C. Then the CDDA symbol, followed again by the CDDA symbol, and 37-1 on the back part of the case. The case for disc D. The key areas where the identifying marks are found for this. On the lid it reads DN1. On the underside of the white tray it reads D06A, then the CDDA symbol, followed again by the CDDA symbol, and DN1 on the back part of the case. Time to have a look at some numbers and waveforms. This is the album in its entirety represented in waveform. Two different waveforms to compare. This is a waveform spectrogram of the entire album to aid in visualizing this album. Here is the loudness unit measurement for the album. It reads 14.7 decibels as its true peak. And finally, here is the amount of data on this audio disc. 549,551,856 bytes. That's the same for both discs. Here is a visual side-by-side representation of the data that both discs have. Both disc A and disc D, when it comes to byte per byte comparison, are identical. I hope this has been informative. That is it for now. More to follow.